Hey guys, what is up? Coach1 here, bringing you yet another Bog Garden video. Today is November 10th, 2022, and the Temperates are officially going into dormancy, so we are starting indoors with the tropicals first. Starting off with the larger Nepenthes, the Ventratas. You can see our largest one here has just produced a new trap. This is about half size currently. It will double in size by the time it's full. Just kind of like this one here, you'd see it's about twice the size. Anyways, I've had to string them off because they were starting to reach and lean and tilt a little too much. So as you can see, starting to get them straight. But you could see how absolutely amazing they're doing that far down below that T5. That is a 4-bulb, 2-foot T5. But you can see they're getting plenty of light. I mean, you see that waxy, beautiful green sheen, nice and springy. Those traps are doing fantastic, no issues whatsoever. Our smaller Nepenthes here, though, the Rebecca Sapor, as you can see, struggled a tiny bit. I had it too close to the light, and then I overwatered it. The mix here is a bit too packed. I do have to go through and re-loosen that. You can see our Bloody Mary was also struggling for a bit and ended up throwing up some basil nodes, and we do have one little basil shoot coming out. Gymnomphora, Telechmel also starting to recover. That one's actually starting to do pretty nicely, and I'm actually digging the coloring that's starting to come out in that one, honestly. And then our Ventricosa here has two little basil shoots that it's tossed off, and then it's got a basil node that it activated here at the top due to the crown getting a little iffy, and then we've got another basil node that activated right there on the side. So that one is a gift that keeps on giving. That was my first Nepenthes too, honestly. Moving on to our pings, you can see that pirouette. Ooh, the blush coming out in that, just looking absolutely beautiful. Hey, look at that. Here's our thumbnail. Bing, boom. Anyways, those Tinas, you'd see 1, 2, and 3 coming in beautiful, and then we have our Agnata Cross and Marginata, which is just flowering like crazy. Started off as one plant, and now we've probably got about 3 growing points. It looks like maybe 2 on that thing. It has just gone absolutely ham. We did move our Alba Capensis underneath the T5 to give it some extra light, and we did bring some of the Capensis in from outside that I was able to repot before running too low on mix. And as you could see, their beautiful green sheen is starting to come back out. Their dew point is struggling because they are still getting acclimated, but they should end up doing fine. Moving on here to the Temperates, sorry. So, for the Temperates, we have our fly traps, as you can see, starting to get a little bit wilty, losing their fabulous green sheen, starting to go into dormancy, traps dying off left and right. Our Leucophila here has a little bit of new growth still coming in, but it's starting to also go into dormancy. Our Capensis, for the most part, out here are still relatively green, brighter than most of the other plants, but they soon will also start dying back, especially once that snow comes in. They'll die back to their roots. Most of them might completely die off. Some of them might survive. As long as the roots survive, though, they've got large, deep tap roots, so they're kind of like dandelions. If the root survives, they'll come back no issue. You can see our tiny little fly trap here that started off about the size of my pinky nail is now about the size of my thumbnail, doing absolutely marvelous. That one's coming back. We've got our rhizome that we took over here that I thought might have been dead after taking a few divisions from it. And as you can see, that's actually coming back strong. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 growing points over there. Now, moving on to the larger bog here. You can see the Caddis BI has been filling up with water in their pitchers, which has been causing them to fall over more, starting to go more into that purpurea phase since it is autumn and winter. Again, you can see our other plants like the Banana here have completely started going into dormancy and are completely dying off. We've got our Filiformis Florida Red forming its hibernaculum. We've got our Tracii forming its hibernaculum. We've got our Butterfly Valley forming hibernaculum. We've got our Filiformis Florida Green forming a hibernaculum. All of the pitchers are starting to go into dormancy here, minus the Leucophila and Scarlet Bells, which are still throwing up the last bit of their growth before going dormant for the winter. Our fly traps here, we've got our typical, still throwing up a couple of these tall traps, but for the most part they are starting to wilt and die out. And our B52, most of the older traps are starting to die out. We've got a couple fresh ones still open up, but those will be wilting here before too long as well. And as you can see, most of the Capensis are also starting to wilt in here. The Utricularia, though, on the other hand, still going relatively strong. Same thing with all the moss and the cranberries. But anyways, we shall hopefully see how this does during this winter. It is expected to be quite a bit colder this year. Who knows? Anyways, catch you guys all in the next one. Peace out.